Welcome. A hot bath or soak in hot water raises our body temperature. Several benefits of this rise include improved blood circulation, improved lymph circulation, detoxification, increased metabolism, and calmer nervous system. The result can be a healthier and more relaxed you. The best part is that soaking in water is inexpensive, pleasurable, and an easy way to access these benefits. Let's look closer. It had been a long year of work and leisure and good times, and we needed a holiday. We sought out an expensive Japanese-style bath in the Blue Mountains. The man also sunk into the water with us was looking very serious. I couldn't help think it would have been more spiritual if we had been in Japan. Harry had no idea how long he would need to work out the secret of the golden egg. He decided to do it at night, when he would be able to take as much time as he wanted. No summers, when it was cracking hot, and the solar heater was still working, the pool would easily get up around 38 degrees. The water might have been cloudy from the algae we'd scraped off the sides, but we'd swim through it anyway, despite Mrs. Teffe's concern. You'll even... It's so hard when I
Is it too confusing when you've got?
It's just because it's slowed slightly.
Um,
I can't like speak at a normal pace. I don't know if it's just me.
yeah. Hold on, wait. Try to cut down the leg. Try try that.
You leave the bath, yeah. You leave the bath and scribble a note about a story about summer and the juxtaposition between that hot water and this hot water, and say you'll come back to it later. We got banned from the pool for the rest of that summer for jumping off the fence above it. It was Ryan's fault. Reluctant though he was to accept more favors from Cedric, he also decided to use the prefect's bathroom. Far fewer people were allowed in there, so it was much less likely that he would be disturbed. In hot spring, everything is clear and you feel like you don't need to think about anything. You lay your head back against the edge of the bath and feel the water in your hair cooling and dripping off onto the stone. You adjust your legs because it's 1 or 2 degrees too hot, but you endure it. It's part of the work. It was too hot to do any thinking or to say anything meaningful, so we just lay there on our towels listening to our neighbors gossip. I tried to read, but mostly I just covered my eyes and felt wonderful. How excellent is summer, and how strange is leisure. There are bombs going off somewhere in the desert, and I am in an enclosed harbour pool with 2 pontoons. The water was hot, and we were laying back in it, so clean, so relaxed. We had come all the way to Lithgow, so what is a little further? Take me there, further. I was thinking so clearly. I would throw out so much stuff when I got home. Hey Jasper, could you find or invent for me some German compound nouns about bathing? For example, the feeling of entering an extremely pleasurable warm bath, the feeling of cooling after you leave a very warm bath, the feeling of hot bath water cooling on the locks of your hair which is suspended from the bath, any compound nouns that can help explain the amazing sensation of an onsen. It's for a project I'm doing for the Digital Rise Festival tomorrow. It had been a glorious childhood, and every year I was getting more pragmatic. I wished I still had the idealism of when I was 18, but it is easier being able to let things slide. I feel old and boring a lot, and I think the 18-year-old me probably wouldn't like me very much, would think I was not essential enough a person. The water was hot, and we would lay back in it and paddle around. Endurance, duration, these are things worth working for. Bathing is the washing of the body with a fluid, usually water or an aqueous solution, or the immersion of the body in water. He was looking so serious in the bath. My experience was profound because I could watch him having something resembling what I felt a profound experience would look like based on my reading of Ben Lerner. Nothing crisper than the feeling of feeling clear and hot and present in a bath, and the way you can't write anything or take any photos or do much at all except enjoy it. We would all be happier in baths. It may be practiced for personal hygiene, religious ritual, or therapeutic purposes. By analogy, especially as a recreational activity, the term is also applied to sunbathing and sea bathing. When I got home, I would throw out so much stuff, the clothes I'd stored away for winters that Sydney never has, and colourful things I never wear that might be good for a costume party, and books I'll never read, and general kinds of dust and crap. Mm. The voice effects question, like it, the way it sounds, the way it sounds makes me want to make it sound like a child reading a childhood story. Like it's making me sound more like
Oh, I'm not actually affecting your voice. It's just your voice.
hello,
That's just your voice.
hello. No, no, no. It's interesting. I wonder. I wonder. I wonder. I wonder. I mean, maybe it's just because I can hear myself. But I don't know. Let's play with the pitch a bit, maybe.
Is it off-putting?
Yeah.
Do you want me to make
But
it
it might
lower?
just be because I'm not used to my own voice, you know.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
I can. No, yeah, or you just use that.
that's okay.
Do you want it lower? That's kind of interesting. I think lower.
Yeah. I don't know. I just want it to be oh god, in a zone where I can just speak without thinking about it too much.
It might be better for you to not. Yeah.
To not hear it.
Can
But
you maybe try one ear?
yeah.
It'd be nice for you to hear them.
Yeah, definitely. When I got home, yeah, it is better that way. Mm. Yeah, it would be nice if it sounded like a faux relaxation tape.
Yeah, I think it's good.
It's tricky. Like I don't want to sound condescending though. I'm just punking everybody.
No, I think you just
You know
gotta
what I mean?
be super sincere with it. Like
Yeah,
think about like Alan Ginsberg or something.
yeah,
Like how they just kind of
yeah.
make it. Yeah,
I find it hard to get into that zone.
but it's pretty good. It's working.
Yeah,
I just think it's about finding it.
yeah, yeah. We just got to get the flow. But that's why we're practicing.
Yeah.
Um, when I got home, I would throw out so much stuff. The clothes I stored away for winters that Sydney never has, and colourful things that I never wear that might be good for a costume party, and books I'll never read, and general kinds of dust and crap. I would write more, get flow, use less electronics. I would go to Europe with all the scholarship money, just like Ben Lerner, without the weed, and keep everything fresh and new and untainted. One theory for what causes wrinkly skin after a bath is that the outermost layer of skin, the stratum corneum, literally horned layer, contains dead keratin cells which absorb water. This makes the surface of the skin swell, but not the lower layers, so the surface is forced to pucker as a result. I would try not to essentialize every experience into totality. It was dangerous, and I would end up idealizing myself and assuming I was capable of things which I was not. Much better to think, I will work hard on this one thing and do it well. We walked down the road after the bath, and David said that if I wanted him to work at the restaurant 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, and also finish his master's, then I should do my PhD full time while also working 4 days at the publisher. And I laughed because it was ridiculous, but in that moment, maybe we could. His immediate reaction was that it would be worth becoming a prefect just to be able to use this bathroom. It was softly lit by a splendid candle-filled chandelier, and everything was made of white marble, including what looked like an empty rectangular swimming pool sunk into the middle of the floor. Nothing more relaxing than a little clarity of thought after a bath, and I would be clearer and a more streamlined person and do less extraneous things. I would be, perhaps, less solipsistic and more giving and open. About 100 gold taps stood all around the pool's edges, each with a differently coloured jewel set into its handle. There was also a diving board. Hot water, but I can't quite touch it back that many years. Where are the inner city public baths, and what business model would you need, and would they be overrun by nasties? The reviving qualities of a hot bath have been celebrated from Homer onwards. In Book 22 of the Iliad, I'm going to change that so I can read it. His wife heats a cauldron of water over a fire to help him soak after his epic battle with Achilles. Unfortunately, Hector ends up beyond the reach of beyond the reach of baths. The oldest bathtub yet discovered is in the Queen's bathroom in the Palace of Knossos in Crete, dating back to 1500 BC. It was made from fired clay and sat alongside one of the earliest water flush lavatories. How much money do I need to have in savings before I can feasibly consider opening my own bathhouse? And if so, what sort of industry should I work in to support that investment? And do you know anybody in it? And would I be happy? Long white linen curtains hung at the windows. A large pile of fluffy white towels sat in a corner, and there was a single gold frame painting on the wall. It featured a blonde mermaid who was fast asleep on a rock, her hair over her face. It fluttered every time she snored. It's a very simple thing. Your hair has a lot of hot water in it. When you arch your back out of the bath and lay it on the stone, it cools rapidly, and the cooler water touches the back of your neck as it meets the stone, and it is very pleasant. Were Hemingway in this bath, what would he be thinking about? And why does describing a nice thing, quote unquote, simply feel like Hemingway? Will Weisenfeld derives his name from his childhood memory of taking in art and music by dwelling on it in his bathtub, which he claims he was very fond of. Consider the flow of water and its description in writing. You try to stay in the moment of it, the crisp, clear, irretrievable yes, the ah, the simple inhalation and exhalation, the everything, the leisure, the clarity, and consider its irretrievability, because it is defined by the otherness of the rest of your variously confused life, which is not to say you are confused, just not quite clear. Your body is full of toxins most of the time, and this is an exception. How much more afraid am I now of waves than when I was 15 and we would pound ourselves against the shore at Curl Curl? Those thick burgers and the Coca-Cola doing its marketing job on me, always associating a salty, parched mouth with the need for a sweaty bottle of it. Bathing can take place in any situation where there is water, ranging from warm to cold. It can take place in a bathtub or shower, or it can be a river, lake, waterhole, pool, or the sea, or any other water receptacle. The term for the act can vary. Mrs. Coote was the nicest of the mums we carpooled with, mostly because she would let us buy frosty fruits on the hot days. The hardest thing about an excellent bath is what you do afterwards. You are losing your cleanness by the moment, your clarity, your sense of, yes, it is simple. You cannot concentrate, your phone is there now, your many stimulated and unstimulated thoughts. I would bathe every morning as a child. My mum would wake me and go run the bath. It would be very low, maybe a quarter to a third full, nothing luxe, and I would clean myself but also kind of nap in there before I got going, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. The rush out of the bath and through the cold air towards the towel would be the wake up I needed to get the day going. For example, a religious a ritual religious bath is sometimes referred to as immersion. The use of water for therapeutic purposes can be called water treatment or hydrotherapy. And two recreational water activities are known as swimming and paddling. I haven't lived in a house with a proper bath in a very long time. My house in Marrickville had one, but it had a shitty one-person hot water tank, so it wouldn't even fill one bath. Short showers in that house.
Try doing shitty acting, like you were like doing a monologue in a movie or something.
Okay.
Just see what it's like.
We went lilo-ing a few weeks ago, like that, like serious monologue.
I don't know, but I reckon it would be interesting to like don't change the text, but just like totally change the emotion.
We went lilo-ing a few weeks ago. That produced great moments of clarity.
That's so good.
You get a shimmer from the water reflecting upon the rocks, and you think about the indescribability of that and feel good. It's clear. It's a literal crystal image. It's there. It's present. It's kind of irretrievable.
I think that's great. I'm just gonna like build all of these little weird things, and
That's
then
so good. It's so
it's
good.
so interesting.
I've got to
because-
try and just not. I just got to like. I reckon I could practice. I'll be able to do it.
Yeah, totally. Just really go with it. It's great.
I'm gonna try and get more ridiculous stuff.
Should I stop the broadcast maybe?